Hi, my name is Derek Sakamoto, and I'm a senior user interface designer on Hearthstone.
So Derek, talk a little about the expansion you announced here today, or the adventure you announced here today at BlizzCon.
Oh, the adventure. Yeah, I'm happy to talk to you about the League of Explorers. It's our latest adventure, and we're going to follow four of Warcraft's greatest explorers on their journey to recover this ancient artifact, which is the Staff of Origination. And so we're going to travel around to various locales and really help these adventurers find the staff and meet this mysterious stranger.
What was it like going into the World of Warcraft? Haha, I got to use that. And pulling the lore from the League of Adventure Explorers that first started in that Northrend world with the Bronzebeard.
Right. It's really cool for our designers to really just more flesh out and contribute more to the Warcraft lore, because right now it's set up like there's Warcraft at the top, and then there's World of Warcraft, and then we're kind of running in parallel with them as Hearthstone, and so we're able to also feed back into the Warcraft lore, and that's really cool for our designers.
There's been a lot of free-to-play card games on the market these last couple of years, but none have had the success that Hearthstone has had in this last year alone. Why do you think your game has been successful while so many others have failed?
I really don't know the answer to that. We're super excited. We just announced that we have over 40 million players, and we're just grateful that many people are excited about what we're excited about. I mean, really what we went out to do was make a game for ourselves. You know, we're card players at heart, and we really wanted to make the game that we wanted to play. And we're just glad that so many people have kind of agreed with us that this game is fun.
And continue on that line, why do you think it's been so long since we've seen a really good card game on a tablet device?
I think it's just a really challenging problem. I know we struggled really hard with it for a long time, and I think we have the luxury to really find the right solution, as Blizzard likes to do, is really release something that is done. And so we had the time to really find the path to a really fun card game, we think.
Every new year we see new phones, new tablets being released to the public with better processors, better graphics card. What does that open up for you with Hearthstone?
It really allows us to stretch our legs and not sacrifice much when we make the conversion from desktop to phone. I mean, we really actually haven't done too much. I mean, our engineers have done a little bit to optimize, but we really like to let our guys go wild with effects and stuff like that. And I think that's part of the appeal of Hearthstone, is that we really want to make it something that people can watch their friends play and be really interested in that, because there's some crazy stuff going on the screen.
And how do you guys work with, you guys obviously have a forum for fan feedback. Do you guys also get fan feedback from players in tournaments and stuff and see, what's balanced, what's broken, what they think should be fixed?
We certainly talk to all of our players, pro players and people on forums, people on Reddit, casual players, just anyone that can give us feedback, because we really take that seriously, because we really like to know what players are feeling, and what they're thinking. And using those two things, that allows us to really make decisions on what to do in the future, like what kinds of content to release, and maybe what kinds of play styles to release.
How do you guys go about balancing the game? Because you're adding 45 new cards to the set, which therefore affects how each class plays, which affects every other card you've released prior to this one. That's got to be a lot of work and a lot of data you have to run through.
Sure, it's using a lot of metrics and a lot of feedback. That's why we actually had to hire up a balance team. So we have a team of 4 designers now actually playing the game a lot and really working on this stuff to make sure that we're releasing quality content.
Can you take us through the process of how a card is put into the game, from an idea, concept, to finish, actually put in the game and be used?
Okay, sure. Designers generally start 2 different ways. They either start with a cool mechanic that they like, or they'll start with the lore, or the feel, the vibe of the card. And so once they do that, they get the card on paper, and then they'll put it into our card editor. And from there, you can instantly play it in a game if you run your own server. So there's a really quick feedback loop for them to be able to experiment and try new things.
So you guys released the co-op mode. So tell us about what challenges were designing that on a basically a 1v1 board.
Yeah, sure. For me, I'm a user interface designer, so the biggest problem is kind of how do you solve that problem, and it's really challenging for us. So that's why we kind of went with the format of working within what we had and making the boss that you're fighting against, the minion on the board that switches back and forth. That's kind of what worked within our playboard style, because you're usually playing one-on-one versus another opponent. And so our designers got pretty creative in making him have taunts, so you can't attack your opponent's minions, and then also That's why we went with pre-made decks, so that we can take out cards like Execute, or that would just completely kill the game. So that's kind of the decision that we made to make this mode work.
There's been a lot of players asking for 2v2 combat. Have you guys fooled around with that idea at all? Have you tested it?
I've seen that idea, and I've fooled around trying to do a mock-up of it, and the problem is really staggering actually. Just solving the 1 versus 1 problem was pretty difficult, especially when you talk about transitioning to phone. That screen real estate is really tight, and so it's not really something that we're working on right now, but who knows.
Well, you guys now have it on tablet, phone, PC. Any future plans to release it on console?
Not currently. Yeah, we're just really busy just trying to keep up with what we have with releasing our content, like you said, on all those different platforms with different screen types.
The theme for all the expansions have always been fun. It's like a really fun and funny, like open. This isn't Diablo, this isn't, StarCraft. It's supposed to be fun, funny. Like there's a lot of humor in it. What do you draw some inspiration from that? Do you just pull from the lore of the universes you have access to?
I think that really comes from the spirit of the team, actually. Just people like Ben Brode and Eric Dodds and myself, we're just kind of silly people, and I think that we really wanted to have something lighthearted and something that we can relax at the end of the day, and not get too far down like this epic route of everything being serious. And we just wanted something that we could have fun with and express ourselves.
Was there a card in this adventure that didn't get in that you really wanted to see in the game, and if so, what did it do?
There wasn't any really that didn't make it in that I saw, but one that I'm pretty excited about is Brand Bronzebeard, which gives your minions double battle cry. I like to play this mill rogue deck with Coldlight Oracles, and I'm want to see how that works out, having players draw 4 cards each.
You guys have this really unique thing where you basically have all these cross-digital gifts for all your games. You can unlock something in the Diablo that'll be a Hearthstone card back, or a mount in Heroes of the Storm. And what's it like as a developer to actually it's kind of like almost cross-platforming in a way, all your games together, so something ties them all together.
Sure. I think it does end up creating connections between our games, but a lot of it also is because of the respect that our individual teams have for the other teams. Like, we were super excited to create an Overwatch card back because we love playing that game, and so I think it's just a show of what can we do to help your game out, and what can you do to help our game out, because we're all the same family. So.
Do you have an absolute favorite card or ability to use in League of Explorers, and why?
I think, like I mentioned, but Brand Bronzebeard is pretty interesting, but I'm also looking at, I can't remember the name of it, but it's the 0/5, and it summons a minion of the Summoning Stone. Okay. It's like the Great Summer Competition Tavern Brawl, and when you play a spell, it'll summon a minion of the same cost. And that card looks super interesting to me because I love these wacky combo decks.